The classroom was full of nervous energy. Students whispered to each other in worried voices. Their eyes kept looking at the large metal cage covered by a black cloth in the center of the room. Marcus Chen sat in the back row watching everything with calm eyes. He was the only human in the Galactic Academy. Around him sat students from many different planets. Tall blue Zentari with their gentle faces, small furry Kelpians who looked like walking teddy bears, and graceful Ilarians with their crystal-like skin. All of them looked scared. Professor Zixtal walked into the room. He was a Carillion with green scaly skin and 4 arms. His yellow eyes looked serious as he faced the class. "Today, students, we will see a real predator," the professor announced. "Not from pictures or videos. A living, breathing hunter from one of the most dangerous worlds in our galaxy." Several students gasped. A Kelpian in the front row started shaking. The Zentari next to Marcus made a worried clicking sound. "Professor," called out Yalara, a tall blue Zentari student, "is this safe? My people have never seen a real predator. We only eat plants on our homeworld." Most students nodded in agreement. Their worlds were peaceful. They had gardens, not jungles. Libraries, not hunting grounds. The idea of meeting a real killer terrified them. Professor Zixtal smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Do not worry. The creature is behind a strong energy field. It cannot hurt you. But today, you will learn what real predators are like." He walked to the covered cage and grabbed the black cloth. "Students, meet a Catherian Shadowstalker." He pulled away the cloth. The creature inside was beautiful and terrible. It was about the size of a large earth tiger, but with 6 powerful legs. Its body was covered in black scales that seemed to drink in the light. Bright blue patterns glowed along its sides like lightning. Its eyes were pure yellow, cold and calculating. The Shadowstalker moved like liquid death. Every step was perfect. Every muscle worked with deadly grace. When it turned its head to look at the students, many of them screamed. 3 Kelpians fainted immediately. Several Zentari students ran toward the door, but it was locked. The Ilarians turned their crystal skin dark with fear. "This creature," Professor Zixtal continued, "comes from Catheria Prime, a Class 4 death world where only the strongest survive. The Shadowstalker is the perfect hunter. It can see heat from your body. It can hear your heartbeat from 50 meters away. Its claws can cut through steel." The predator's head turned toward each student as the professor spoke. When someone moved, its eyes locked onto them immediately. The students could feel its hunting instincts even through the energy barrier. "It has hunted and killed creatures 10 times its size," the professor went on. "On its homeworld, even other predators fear the Shadowstalker. It never misses its prey. It never gives up a hunt." Marcus leaned forward in his chair, studying the creature with interest. While everyone else cowered in fear, he looked fascinated. The Shadowstalker's movements reminded him of the big cats he had seen in documentaries back on Earth. "Interesting," Marcus said quietly. The word carried in the silent, terrified classroom. Every head turned to look at him. Even the Shadowstalker seemed to notice the calm human in the back row. Professor Zixtal's yellow eyes focused on Marcus. "Mr. Chen, you seem unafraid. Would you like to share your thoughts about our guest?" Marcus stood up slowly. His classmates watched him in shock. How could anyone be calm near such a monster? "It's beautiful," Marcus said simply. "The way it moves, the way it watches. It reminds me of cats back on Earth. House cats, actually. Same hunting instincts, just bigger." The room fell dead silent. Did the human just compare a galaxy-famous killing machine to a pet? Suddenly, red warning lights began flashing. An alarm started blaring. The energy field around the Shadowstalker flickered once, twice, then died completely. The cage door swung open. The alarm screamed through the classroom. Red lights flashed everywhere. The Shadowstalker stepped out of its open cage, muscles rippling under its black scales. Panic exploded. Students screamed and ran in all directions. Chairs crashed to the floor. The small Kelpians squeaked in terror as they tried to squeeze under desks. The tall Zentari students pushed toward the locked door, their blue skin pale with fear. Everyone remained calm. Professor Zixtal shouted, but his own voice shook. His forearms fumbled with his communication device. "Security! Emergency in classroom 7. The specimen has escaped." The Shadowstalker's glowing blue patterns pulsed brighter. Its yellow eyes swept across the room, following every movement. When a Kelpian ran past, the predator's head snapped toward it. The hunting instinct was fully awake now. The creature leapt onto a desk with incredible grace. Its 6 legs moved perfectly as it jumped from table to table, following the fleeing students. The blue patterns on its body flashed like a neon sign that said danger. Students banged on the locked classroom door. "Open it! Let us out!" they cried. But the door stayed closed. Emergency lockdown procedures had sealed the room. The Shadow Stalker landed on the floor near a group of Ilarian students. They froze like statues, their crystal skin turning black with terror. The predator sniffed the air, tasting their fear. In all this chaos, one person did not move. Marcus Chen stood exactly where he had been. His arms hung loose at his sides. His breathing was slow and steady. He watched the Shadow Stalker with curious eyes, not afraid eyes. The predator noticed him. The great hunter turned its head toward Marcus. For a moment it ignored all the running, screaming prey around it. Something about the calm human was different, wrong, interesting. The Shadow Stalker walked toward Marcus slowly. Its claws clicked on the floor. Step by step it came closer. The glowing patterns on its body pulsed faster. "Marcus!" Professor Zixtel whispered harshly. "Do not move. Do not run." "I'm not planning to," Marcus replied quietly. The other students stopped running. They pressed themselves against the walls, watching in horror. The human was going to die, and they could do nothing to help him. The Shadow Stalker stopped 3 feet from Marcus. It tilted its great head to one side, studying him. Its nostrils flared, smelling something it had never smelled before. No fear, no panic, no prey behavior at all. Instead, Marcus smelled like something the predator recognized at a deep, instinctive level. Something that made its hunting instincts confused. "Easy there," Marcus said in a low, calm voice. He did not move his hands. He did not step back. He just stood there, looking directly into the creature's yellow eyes. The Shadow Stalker circled him slowly. Its head never stopped moving, trying to understand this strange being. Every other creature in the room smelled of fear and prey, but this one smelled different. "You're confused, aren't you?" Marcus continued talking softly. "All these people running around acting like prey. But I'm not running. I'm not afraid. You don't know what to do with me." The predator stopped circling. It sat back on its haunches, watching Marcus with intelligent eyes. "See?" Marcus said to the stunned classroom. "It's not a mindless killer. It's reacting to your fear. When everything acts like prey, it becomes a predator. But when something doesn't act like prey..." He slowly extended one hand toward the Shadow Stalker. The creature sniffed his fingers carefully. Its blue patterns began to fade to a softer glow. Suddenly, the classroom door burst open. Campus security rushed in, wearing heavy armor and carrying energy weapons. "Nobody move," the security chief shouted. "We're taking the shot." The energy weapons hummed to life, targeting both Marcus and the Shadow Stalker. The predator's blue patterns flared bright again. Its muscles tensed. The peaceful moment shattered like glass. Now everyone was in danger. "Don't shoot," Marcus called out firmly. The security chief, a tall Caraxian warrior with thick armor, kept his weapon aimed. "Step away from the death beast, human. Move now." Marcus didn't move. Instead, he stepped slightly in front of the Shadow Stalker. The predator's blue patterns flared brighter at the sight of the armed security team. "If you fire those weapons, you'll startle it," Marcus said calmly. "A confused, frightened predator is 10 times more dangerous than a calm one." "Marcus is right," Professor Zixtal said quickly. His forearms gestured for the guards to lower their weapons. "I've studied predator behavior for 20 years. Sudden loud noises and bright flashes will trigger its attack instincts." The security chief's weapon trembled slightly. "That thing could kill everyone in this room." "Not if you listen to me," Marcus replied. He turned back to face the Shadow Stalker. The creature had risen to its feet, muscles tense, ready to fight or flee. Marcus did something that made everyone gasp. He made direct eye contact with the predator and took a step forward. The Shadow Stalker took a step back. "What are you doing?" whispered Yalara, the blue Zentari student. "I'm showing it who's in charge," Marcus said without breaking eye contact with the creature. He stood straighter, making himself look bigger. His voice became deeper, more commanding. "This is called dominance behavior. Most predators understand it." He took another step forward. Again, the Shadow Stalker stepped back. Its glowing patterns began to dim slightly. Humans evolved on a death world called Earth, Marcus explained to the amazed classroom. My ancestors didn't just survive among predators. They became the top predators. They hunted everything. The shadow stalker lowered its head slightly. In the predator world, this was a sign of submission. Impossible, breathed the security chief. Nothing dominates a Catherian shadow stalker. Marcus smiled. You're thinking like prey species. You see this creature and think dangerous predator, but I see something different. I see a very good hunter from a tough world, just not as tough as mine. He began walking slowly around the shadow stalker. The creature turned to follow his movement, but it didn't attack. Instead, it seemed to be listening. Humans didn't just hunt small animals, Marcus continued his lesson. We hunted mammoths, creatures 50 times our size. We hunted giant bears, saber-toothed tigers, and cave lions. We didn't do it with claws or fangs. We did it with our brains. The students watched in fascination. Even the security team had lowered their weapons slightly. We call it persistence hunting, Marcus went on. We would chase an animal for days. Not fast, just steady. We never gave up. The animal would run until it collapsed from exhaustion. Then we would catch it. The shadow stalker was now sitting, watching Marcus with calm yellow eyes. Its blue patterns had faded to a soft glow. We also learned to work together. Pack hunting. 1 human is dangerous. 5 humans working together can bring down anything. We made tools. We made weapons. We learned to use fire. Marcus stopped in front of the predator again. Most importantly, we learned to outthink our prey. While other predators relied on instinct, humans relied on intelligence. He reached out slowly and placed his hand on the creature's head. The shadow stalker didn't move. It almost seemed to purr. This beautiful hunter is very good at what it does, Marcus said. But humans learned to do something better. We learned to survive anything, adapt to anything, and make friends with anything. Professor Zixtal stared in amazement. Marcus, this is incredible. In all my years of study, I've never seen anything like this. Suddenly, emergency sirens began wailing throughout the entire academy. A voice echoed over the loudspeakers. Attention all students and staff. Emergency lockdown is now in effect. A prison transport carrying dangerous specimens has crashed on academy grounds. Multiple apex predators from Class 5 Deathworlds have escaped containment. Remain in your current location until further notice. The security chief's communication device crackled to life. All units, we have reports of casualties. Repeat, we have casualties. These aren't ordinary predators. We need all available personnel immediately. Marcus looked up from petting the now calm shadow stalker. His eyes were serious. Looks like class is over. The academy sirens wailed like crying ghosts. Emergency lights painted everything red. Through the classroom windows, Marcus could see students running across the campus grounds in panic. The security chief's radio crackled with desperate voices. Unit 3 down. Repeat, Unit 3 is down. The creatures tore through our armor like paper. Medical team to the library. Multiple casualties. We can't find them. They're too fast, too smart. Professor Zixtal looked at Marcus with desperate eyes. These escaped creatures, they're from worlds even more dangerous than Catheria Prime. Class 5 Deathworlds where only the most perfect killers survive. The security chief wiped sweat from his forehead. We're not trained for this. Our weapons work on civilized beings, not monsters from hell worlds. Marcus stood up, his hand still resting on the calm shadow stalker. What exactly escaped? The radio answered with more panicked reports. Something took out the entire West Patrol, left claw marks 3 inches deep in solid metal. The creatures in the gardens, they're hunting in perfect formation, like they've been planning this. Sir, we lost contact with the dormitory guards. All we found was pieces. Marcus's jaw tightened. These weren't just random predators. They were organized, intelligent killers. We need someone who thinks like them, the security chief said quietly. He looked at Marcus with reluctant respect. Human, what you did with that shadow stalker. Could you do it with other predators? Depends on the species, Marcus replied. But first I need to know what we're hunting. Professor Zixtal activated a holographic display. Images appeared in the air, creatures that looked like nightmares made real. Void Reapers from Nox Tertius, the professor said, pointing to sleek black creatures with too many teeth. They hunt in packs of 5. Perfect coordination. They communicate through chemical signals. Thornback stalkers from Crimson Deep, he continued, showing armored beasts with razor spines. Solitary hunters, nearly invisible when they don't want to be seen. And worst of all, Professor Zixtal's voice dropped to a whisper. 3 Ravenclaw alphas from Deathsong Prime. Intelligent pack leaders. They can mimic voices to lure prey. Marcus studied each creature carefully. His mind was already working, analyzing their hunting patterns and weaknesses. How long ago did they escape? He asked. 2 hours, the security chief replied. Then they're already establishing territories, Marcus said grimly. The pack hunters will claim the largest areas with the most prey. The solitary ones will find hiding spots near food sources. He walked to the window and looked out at the academy grounds. Students were still running in random directions. Perfect prey behavior. Your people are doing everything wrong, Marcus told the security chief. Running in panic, making noise, traveling alone. They're triggering every hunting instinct these predators have. What would you do differently? Professor Zixtal asked. Marcus turned back to them. His eyes were cold and calculating now. Not cruel, but focused like a hunter's. I'd stop being prey, he said simply. I'd become the predator. The shadow stalker lifted its head and looked at Marcus with what almost seemed like respect. Even it could sense the change in the human. You want to hunt them? The security chief asked in disbelief. I want to out-hunt them, Marcus corrected. There's a difference. Humans didn't survive on Earth by being better predators than everything else. We survived by being smarter predators. Another urgent message came through the radio. Emergency. The Void Reapers are heading toward the main dormitory. 800 students trapped inside. Marcus was already moving toward the door. I need a small team. Volunteers only. And I need tracking equipment. This is suicide, the security chief said. Marcus paused at the doorway. Behind him, the shadow stalker had risen to its feet as if ready to follow. No, Marcus said quietly. This is what humans do best. The hunt was about to begin. Night had fallen over the academy like a black blanket. Marcus moved through the shadows with his small team. Professor Zixtal, 2 brave security guards, and surprisingly, Ylara, the Zentari student who had refused to stay behind. I want to learn, she had said. If we survive this, I want to understand how you think. They followed the trail of the Void Reapers through the academy gardens. Marcus read the signs like a book. Broken branches, claw marks on trees, and the chemical scent markers the pack used to communicate. They're smart, Marcus whispered, kneeling beside a damaged fountain. Look at this pattern. They're not just hunting randomly. They're herding students toward a specific location. Herding them where? Asked Guard Captain Krell, a nervous Caraxian who kept his weapon ready. Marcus studied the ground marks more carefully. His face grew grim. Into a trap. As they moved deeper into the gardens, Marcus began to understand the Void Reaper's strategy. The pack had split up, with individual hunters driving prey from different directions toward a central killing ground. It's brilliant, he admitted grudgingly. They've turned the entire academy into a hunting maze. Professor Zixtal shivered. How do we stop something like this? By being better hunters than they are, Marcus replied. They reached the edge of a wide courtyard. In the moonlight, they could see movement. 5 sleek black shapes positioned perfectly around the space. The Void Reapers had surrounded a group of terrified students who huddled together in the center. There must be 30 students trapped in there, Ylara whispered. The Void Reapers were taking their time, enjoying the fear. They moved in slow circles, tightening their formation gradually. Perfect pack hunting behavior. We can't fight all 5 at once, Captain Krell said. They'll tear us apart. Marcus studied the scene with cold calculation. Then he did something that shocked everyone. He stepped out into the open. Hey! He called loudly to the Void Reapers. All 5 predators stopped moving. Their sleek heads turned toward Marcus. Even in the darkness, he could see their glowing eyes focusing on him. You want a challenge? Marcus continued walking steadily toward the pack. Stop playing with prey and face a real predator. The largest Void Reaper, the pack alpha, made a low growling sound. It had never heard prey talk back before. Marcus kept walking forward. His posture was straight, confident. His scent carried no fear, only the calm assurance of a superior hunter. That's right, he said to the alpha. You can smell it, can't you? I'm not like them. The pack began to circle Marcus instead of the students. Their hunting instincts were confused. This strange being didn't act like prey, but it wasn't acting like a fellow predator either. Marcus! Professor Zixtal called out in alarm. What are you doing? teaching them about Earth, Marcus replied calmly. He began to demonstrate something the Void Reapers had never seen: coordinated pack hunting with intelligence behind it. Using hand signals, Marcus directed his team to positions around the courtyard, not to attack but to control the hunting ground. The Void Reapers found themselves being outmaneuvered by a smaller group with no natural weapons. Marcus used the terrain, the lighting, even the wind direction to his advantage. "This is how humans hunt," he said, loud enough for his team to hear. "We don't rely on claws or speed. We use our minds." The pack alpha approached Marcus directly. It was twice his size, with razor-sharp claws and teeth designed for killing. But as it got closer, something strange happened. The creature stopped, its head tilted to one side, studying Marcus with intelligent eyes. For the first time in its life, the Void Reaper Alpha recognized something it had never encountered before: a predator that was superior not through strength, but through evolution. Behind them, a deep roar echoed through the night. Something much larger and much more dangerous had heard the commotion. The ancient draconic apex was coming.